What's up, nerds? This is my 2021 Cube Collection Showcase.
First up, the big boy. This is the Moyan 15x15. This is the largest puzzle in my collection. Next is the Lee 5x5 Fisher Cube. I love shape mods and wanted this puzzle for years, so when a mass-produced version was released, I absolutely had to get it. Next is my Shangshao 11x11. This is the first 11x11 to ever be mass-produced. Up next, the Shangshao 9x9. When this puzzle was released, I was blown away at how big it was. And the odd man out, the Shangshao Gigaminx. This puzzle is rather special because it's the first one I ever solved without looking up any tutorials. Next is my Pochmann style Supercubes. I have the Yixin 5x5 Supercube with the classic Yixin purple sticker shade, and the Cuber US 9x9 Pochmann. You can see in the solve state it appears that the cube looks like a super flip, so the orientation of all of the pieces, both centers, edges, and corners, matters. Next is the 4x4 shape mods. The first is my Calvin's Puzzle Windmill Cube Extreme. The layers must be misaligned like this in order to turn the cube, so there's lots of internal bandaging and that makes the solve pretty interesting. I have 3 cube-style 4x4 shape mods. The first is the Axis Cube, which is impossible. I have never been able to solve this thing. In fact, just figuring out how to turn it is quite a challenge. I also have the 4x4 Windmill Cube and Fisher Cube. These are both pretty fun and I've managed to solve them many times. These are some of my favorite puzzles to casually solve. Next up is the Cuboid category. Let's go smallest to largest. I have this little Z Cube 2x2x1, the Chi-E 1x2x3, Chi-E 3x3x1 floppy cube, and the Shangshao 3x3x1 spinner, which actually spins pretty well. I have a Chi-E Mofeng GE 2x2x3, very fun puzzle, the Wit Eden 2x2x4, which shapeshifts and if for some reason is abnormally large, the Chi-E 3x3x2 Domino, which is tons of fun. I'm going to be making a tutorial on that cube quite soon. The MF8 3x4x2 full function cube, which is overpriced and turns terribly, but MF8 is the only one who makes it. I have the old Cube for You 3x3x4 full function. This is actually the second one of this puzzle I've had. My dog ate the first one. I have the Calvin's Puzzle 3x3x5, fantastic shape mod with lots of shape shifting. The Calvin's Puzzle Hunter 2x4x6 in white plastic. I've never managed to solve this thing, really haven't spent too much time with it. It does have some bandaging that makes it quite interesting. The Calvin's Puzzle Limited Edition 3x3x5 T-Cube, another one I can't seem to solve, but I managed to get it here in the T-shape and walked away. And the Wit Eden 3x3x9 version 2, pretty fun puzzle. Next up is my series of mirror puzzles. Smallest to largest, I have the YJ Floppy Ghost Cube, which why is this called a Ghost Cube? The Shangshao 2x2 mirror, MFJS 3x3 mirror, Cuber US 3x3 solution horror cube, so this puzzle can be solved in 2 ways. One solution looks like this, and the second solution looks like this. In a similar style, I have the Lee Mod 4x4 2 solution horror cube, the Lee Mod 4x4 mirror blocks, and the biggest of them, the Lee Mod 5x5 mirror, which is magnetized. For some reason, the 5x5 is smaller than the 4x4 and turns significantly better. Alright, before we go any further, I'd like to ask you to smash that like button, please subscribe to my channel, and let me know down in the comments below which one of these cubes would you like to see videos on in the future. Now, my favorite category of all time, the 3x3 shape mods. First up is the Calvin's Puzzle Troy 3D Star designed by Troy Robinson. This looks like 2 Pyraminxes fused together, but it is in fact just a 3x3. There is the YJ Diamond 3x3 in all blue plastic. This one's pretty hard because there's lots of, let's call them duplicate pieces, which creates lots of very interesting cases that don't show up on a regular 3x3. We have the Diane Chung Case Cube, which doesn't look like a 3x3. The Lan Curvy Windmill Cube, which is exactly what it sounds like, except not, because it doesn't really look like a windmill cube, it's more like a curvy axis cube. Speaking of which, I have the Chi-E Axis Cube, the Chi-E Fisher Cube, a Chi-E Windmill Cube, the Calvin's Puzzle Tony Fisher Reverse Cutter Cube, where the middle layer must be misaligned 45 degrees in order to turn it. And finally, the Calvin's Puzzle Inverted House Cube, designed by Nathan Wilson. Nathan, where did your channel go? The next category is the edge turning puzzles. The classic version is the Curvycopter. This one is made by Landland and has the Tom Z logo. Next up is the little brother of the Curvycopter, the Helicopter Cube, which has similar turning but does not feature jumbling. And then finally I have the Landland Butterflower Cube, which is the big brother, which does feature jumbling, also has corner turning, and has these interesting pedal pieces that you have to create. And those are pretty tough to solve, but you can do it all with 3 cycles if you're clever. In the corner turning puzzle category, I have a Calvin's Puzzle Akamoto and Greg Lattice Cube, a Landland Mosaic Cube, the Shengshao Dino Cube, Chi-E Mofang Ivy Cube, which features the Eaton logo, Landland Rex Cube, Moyu Ready Cube, and the YJ Yeet Ball. Yeet! This is the Miscellaneous Cube category. Made by Cube Twist is this 3x3 triple cube. This is the version 2, which has lots of internal bandaging. The outer cube solved just like a Siamese cube, but this inside one I can't quite figure out yet. I have the Landland FTO, which I've never really been interested in and have never tried to solve. I have the Layfun 2x2 Time Machine. This one is not numbered, but is still pretty fun, although rather easy. I have the Fangshi Lim Cube Pineapple, which solves just like the 2x2 Time Machine, except for the fact that this is one of the worst turning puzzles in my collection, and I would not recommend it given the price. Seriously, this thing is hard to turn. I have the Diane Tangram Cube, which I don't even know how to scramble. This is apparently a cubic version of a pentahedron, which is apparently a rather easy puzzle, but this one, no, I have not mustered up the confidence to scramble this guy yet. Next is the Mefritz 4x4 Checkerboard. This is a rather fun puzzle with lots of unique cases. The Moyu Puppet Cube 2. What is this thing? This is impossible. I have no idea what I am doing. I have not managed to solve this. And finally, the Lim Cube 2x2 Transform Pyraminx Octahedron version 2. This is the Moyu Fisher Time Wheel, where the 9 pieces in this inner circle can be exchanged like the centers of a 5x5, and then you solve a Fisher Cube. In the Morphix category, I have the Shengshao 2x2 Paramorphix, which for some reason I have a really hard time solving intuitively. Is it actually that much harder than a 2x2, or am I just confused by the shape? I'm not sure. I have the YJ 3x3 Master Morphix, this is cool, and the 5x5 Gigamorphix, which, ironically, I have been able to solve intuitively. These are my Moyu Moyan cubes. The first is actually made by Layfun, and this is the Moyan 1, the classic puzzle. Next is the Moyu Moyan 2, which has the dots on the inside, and then finally the Layfun Carbon Fiber Moyan 1, which is significantly easier than the first two because the color scheme is based around the point here instead of a face. These are my 2 seed puzzles. I have the Calvin's Puzzle Vladdy's Seed and the Calvin's Puzzle Vladdy's Evil Seed. The Evil Seed is in fact much harder. I only have a few barrels. The first is the Layfun Carbon Fiber Barrel. Next is the Chi-E 3x3 cylinder, which is a great introduction to 3x3 shape mods because the center orientation matters. And finally, the MFJS Barrel Ready Cube. I have 2 ghost cubes, the Fangshi Lim Cube 2x2 ghost cube, which pops all the time. What's wrong with you guys, Fangshi? Your cubes are not very good. And the Layfun Ghost Pyraminx Carbon Fiber. Because I'm terrible at Pyraminx and the 2x2 ghost has been so hard, I have not scrambled this. These are my miscellaneous 3x3 Supercubes and mods. First up is the Calvin's Yummy Yummy Hamburger Cube, which is way too expensive for as bad as it turns. The XHM Cuber Math Cube. If you can solve this, you should be able to pass your high school and college physics classes. The Layfun Sudoku Cube. This is very difficult because I don't even know what the solved state is. This thing is pretty much impossible. I have the Z-Cube Rainbow Cube, pretty fun sticker mod. The Z-Cube Bandage Cube version A, which has pretty interesting sticker shades and nice internal bandaging. The Z-Cube Penrose Cube, which is pretty fun, but honestly I have not played with it too much after solving it a few times. the YJ Love Cube, which was a gift from my wife and turns pretty terribly. I have a calendar cube with this Super Seed version 1 sticker set on an original Yushin Little Magic. MFJS Pandora Cube, which is just a 3x3 but turns terribly and hurts your fingers. And my only 2x2 shape mod, the Lan 2x2 dodecahedron. Next up is the Mixup Cubes. I have the classic 3x3 Whit Eden and Oscar Van Davischer 3x3 Mixup Cube. This is unique because the corners and the centers can switch places, which that's strange. And then I have the Whit Eden Octahedral Mixup 1, which I have not been able to solve. And because that was so impossible to solve, I have the Whit Eden Octahedral Mixup 3, which I have not scrambled, but do intend to once I actually spend some time on these puzzles. Next up are the Fruit Cubes, which I got as a gift from my Nana Joanna, who runs the Copacabana in the heart of Havana and gave me this 2x2x3 Fanchon Banana. I also have this lemon, and it's the zest. Aren't you glad you subscribed to my channel? I'd absolutely appreciate it if you'd smash that like button. Apparently, we're not done with fruit puns yet, but to each their own. Seriously, the banana is a 2x2x3. The lemon, apple, and pear are pretty easy, and the orange and peach are quite difficult. Now we have the Dinosaur Cubes. First up is my favorite dinosaur, the Diplodocus! And then the state dinosaur of Colorado, the Stegosaurus. His angry uncle, the Ankylosaurus. The Styracosaurus. The Parasaurolophus, I just said that wrong. And finally, the T-Rex or Tyrannosaurus Rex. Next up is a series of puzzles that I've acquired since I started filming this video. About half of these are Christmas gifts, and the other half are items from the Cubicle Mystery Puzzle Program. First is the 1x2x3 Floppy Cube that looks great on the Christmas tree. The YJ Floppy Ghost Cube. The Lay Fun Moyan 1 in stickerless. This $3 mystery puzzle. Ooh, what's in here? It's actually a Chi-E windmill cube. Next, I have the MF8 Duo Axis Cube. This will be very interesting. Chi-E Mofang GE Pyraminx Duo, I believe it's called. The Lan Cane Ball. I'm finding this to be extremely difficult because there's 8 colors on this cube, but I have no idea how they're arranged. I got these crazy magnet things, which they also comes with this deck of cards, which has a bunch of different shapes you're supposed to match the cubes to. It's a Lan Pitcher, perhaps? Andromeda Cube. Nautilus Cube, which only turns about this one particular act. Calvin's 3x3x4i. This thing actually shapeshifts. Cube for you, full function 3x3x5. Turns extremely stiff out of the box, but I threw some D&M in it, and now it is great. The Fanchon basketball looks like a basketball. Chi-E Master Morphix. Lay Fun Column Barrel. YJ Blind Cube. Yeah, anyway, you solve this like through the sensory perception of the shapes. YJ Upo V2. Q Babylon Tower. We solve this puzzle by just doing simple exchanges with the middle slice, an extra RS3 on 2020 free gift from the Cubicle. These are my Skewb type puzzles. I have the no longer produced MFJS Cubing Classroom Skewb, the MFJS Maylong Double Skewb, which what's going on with these centers, I can't figure out how to solve this. The Meffert's Tony Fisher Skewb Extreme. I've solved this a few times, but only by luck. And finally, the MFJS Container Cube, which I have spent a embarrassing amount of time trying to solve. I suck at Skewb, and I cannot figure this out. It's apparently just a Skewb shape mod, but don't know what I'm doing. Now we have our Minx type puzzles. The smallest is the Shangshao Killaminx. Then I have this Shangshao Phoenix Megaminx. This is a pretty unique puzzle. Then I have the Calvin's puzzle, I don't know how to say this, Avengini Bubble Minx. This is essentially just a really bad Megaminx with stickers that like to fall off. Then there's the Diane Megaminx. This thing's pretty old. I don't really know which version this is. And then the Yushin Little Magic Megaminx. I have one clock, and it's the Shangshao Magnetic Clock, and clock is boring. For Pyraminx, which I don't practice, I have the X-Man Bell version 1, and this OG Pyraminx from 2009 that I did the worst restickering job ever and turns terribly. I don't know what brand this is. Seriously, look how bad these stickers are. I have two square ones, the Yushin Little Magic Square one, and this Chi-E Jelly Squan that I got from the Cubicle Mystery Puzzles. I don't know how to solve square one. I wanted to try and figure it out intuitively, but I am failing at that task. Next up are my V Cubes. This is my V Cube 8. These stickers are gross. I have new stickers coming in the mail from Chewy's Custom Stickers. This is my V Cube 7. This is actually a pretty special puzzle to me because I saw this thing when it was first released, and that's what got me inspired to get into cubing in the first place. Some guy in college had this. I had no idea that there was anything larger than a 3x3, and that's kind of what started all this nonsense. And finally, this V-Cube 4x4 pillow. What's the point? I have one 7x7. It is the YJ Yufu V2M. For 6x6, I have the MGC 6x6, which is quite good. This very old Shangshao 6x6, which I intend to do a sticker mod on, make it a Supercube. And then the Moyu Weishi GTS from my Cubicle Mystery Puzzles, which was just eh. Also, we'll do a sticker mod and make this a Supercube. For 5x5s, I have the Moyu Aoshuang WRM 5x5 Cubicle Mystery Puzzle Gift, which is pretty cool. This would be my main. The Yushin Little Magic 5x5M. This was my first magnetic 5x5. A very old Shangshao 5x5. And of course, the classic Rubik's Professor Cube. This thing is super loose, and you can tell I solved it quite a bit. I'm happy to have this one. It's a lot of fun. In the 4x4 category, I have the YJ MGC 4x4, that's my main, and the Yushin Little Magic M. For 2x2, I have this old Ishin 2x2, which has no springs and corner cuts like a beast. What's with that purple, guys? Why did you do that? Then I have the Wit Eden Wit 2. This is actually a really satisfying puzzle to turn, although it sounds crazy. I have the YJ MGC 2x2, fantastic puzzle for the price, and my main, the Dian Tangyan version 1. These are some cubes that are still in boxes that I intended to make videos for, or I'm in the process of making videos for right now. Alright, we made it to the 3x3s. We're going to start with some old stuff. These first two are unknown manufacturers. This is either a Type D or Type F, I'm not sure. But I ruined this puzzle by putting some modern lube in it, and now it turns terribly, so I wrote my specs letter scheme on it. This is an old puzzle that used to be my main. It features black opposite yellow, which used to be popular, and it's got custom Cubesmith neon shades, and yeah, the logo on red. That's cool. This is an unknown cube. I believe it's a Type A though, not sure. Has these weird pastel stickers that I put on. These are just 3x3s that turn bad. This first one is an unknown brand, and then I have a mid-2000s Rubik's brand, and then an early 2000s Rubik's brand from my mother. I have two ghost hand puzzles. This one is the transparent plastic, which I had really no use for this cube anymore, so I just put 6 different shades of blue on it to make it sort of interesting. And this ghost hand used to be my old main, and it's pretty special because this is the cube I got my first sub 20 solve on. I peeled the stickers off to make it an F2L cube, and I regret doing that a lot. Now we have my Dian cubes. This is my Dian Guhong version 2, again with black opposite yellow. The Guhong V3, why was this thing so small? The Guhong V4, which is my current main, and then a stickerless Guhong V4 as well. I also have the Tangyan V2 and the Tangyan V1. I prefer the V1 to the V2 because it's simpler, and the V1 was just so quiet and has such a unique feel. It's gotta be one of my favorite cubes of all time. These are my Moyu cubes. I have two RS3M 2020s. The first one has a cube head logo on white and features the additional magnets. The second has the cube head logo on yellow and is the out-of-the-box magnet strength. I have a black RS3M 2020 with this little Reddit guy, and I have the RS3M 2020 maglev, which I didn't like as much as the original 2020. I have a Meilong 3M, which turns pretty okay for the price. And then I have an old Weilong, which has really bad stickers, but only on these sides for some reason. Some of my mid-tier 3x3s, this is my X-Man Tornado V2. I really like the black internals on this cube. The MS Cube MS3 V1 Enhanced. This is my only cube with core magnets. And the Valk 3M. Pretty interesting cube, just so blocky. Nothing else is quite like it. And then the GAN 356 XS. Pretty neat cube, real light, but I don't want to buy any more GAN cubes. These are all of my Yushin Little Magics. The OG no magnets YLM was the cube that got me real inspired about 3x3 in my second wave of cubing. So first up is just the original with no magnets. The other is an original with no magnets, white plastic, And I've got this third one that I just kind of use for spare parts. I took the black face off of this one to put on my stickerless YLM to make a black opposite yellow, and that is the cube that I use for my channel logo that features heavy magnets that I magnetized myself. I also have this custom magnetized and set up YLM with these light blue sticker shades. I have a version 1 Cubicle Pro Shop YLM, which was my main for a long time, until I got the V1 Cubicle Angstrom, which was then my main for a long time until I started using the Guhong V4. Other little magics I have are the V2 out of the box, the V2 Solaritas, and a V2 Mystic. I never cared for the version 2 as much as the original. My other Yushin cube is the Yushin Kylan V2M with tiles, and that's pretty cool. From YJ, I have the MGC3 Elite, the MGC3 Repulsion, which this cube is outrageous. It feels like you were driving over speed bumps every 2 feet at 80 miles an hour. That's what this cube feels like when you turn it. It is so weird and strangely good. It's a weird cube. And then I have the YJ Yulong V2M, which was actually a really good budget cube in its time. From Chi-E, I have the Chi-E MS, the Thunderclap V3, which I never really liked for the price. I thought there were a lot of better cubes. The Chi-E Sail W, which was free, and the Chi-E Warrior W, which I put light magnets in, and actually is a pretty decent cube. Finally, I have the MFJS MF3 RS3 that I hand magnetized and set up with an Angstrom lubes myself. The Shangshao Legend, which I will do a sticker mod on, and finally the Diansheng 3x3M, which I did a custom Lubical Black and Angstrom setup on. It's a pretty good cube, but there's better cubes out there. Finally, winding down the video, we have the MFJS 4.5cm cubing classroom, the MFJS Meilong Mini 3.5cm keychain, the Chi-E Mini 3cm cube, and of course, this little guy. Alright, that was everything. Thank you so much for watching to the end. Cheers, friends.